All right. So I don't know how long this is going to take to propagate. No idea how long it's going to take this thing to propagate because I don't have a start screen. Jesus Christ, these people don't know how to drive out here. All right, it looks like it made it through the pipes. So
It's still $15 a month for free.
I'll just make sure that the sound and everything's working here. I'm trying to pull up the stream myself here, just to test it. I'm trying to pull up the stream myself. Okay, sounds like we're good. God dang, guys, I'm in St. Louis. It's the commercial vehicles out here that can't drive today. What is going on? It's driving like absolute idiots out here. God dang. It's freaking welcome to St. Louis. I hate this town. No offense to anybody that lives here. I hate driving through here. I absolutely hate it. I honestly would rather drive through Atlanta than this. It's always awful. But we're just doing, I guess, the daily live stream again here. Yesterday was a pile of dirt, so I gotta make sure we take the right exit lane here. It's really aggressive drivers out here today. Holy Christ. I don't know what the hell is going on. Like, worse than normal. Like, the traffic congestion isn't really a thing today. It's just really aggressive, like, bad drivers. Like, I was doing like 80 in the 55 back there, just trying to not get run over. I'm not joking, I was doing like 80. Like, almost 30 miles an hour over the speed limit just to not get rear-ended. And, like, people are, like, riding my bumper and, like, honking their freaking horn and, like, throwing their hands up. It's like, oh my God, like, what do you want me to do here? Like, God damn. It's like you just can't do anything right driving around out here. It's been a while since I've driven through St. Louis this time of day. Usually it's the middle of the night when there ain't nobody, but yeah, I'm driving home from the, like that guy right there. How fast am I going? Oh, I'm only doing 60, but still. I'm doing like damn near 15 over, and that guy's got to be doing 75. There's no reason for that when there's this many cars on the road. Christ, you even got grandma and her freaking town and country over here. But no, we're just gonna go live because the past couple of days of storm chasing was a huge letdown. Massive. You know, I always talk about how, you know, there's always that difference when it comes to doing. Oh my God, this road. We must be in Illinois. When it comes to doing what I'm doing, you know, we talk about it being a loss or a break even, and those were definitely lost days. Not only like financially, but they were also lost days like mentally, like in spirit. Like I feel like I lost motivation to ever chase Arkansas ever again. Oh my God. Usually when you go out for 2 days, you've got a safe bet that at least one of them's going to be pretty good. Man, it's almost hard. Like, it almost is unlikely for a multi-day event to just suck that bad. Like, that in and of itself was rare. So, like, what we just did back there was technically rare. It's very rare for them to suck that bad. I actually had my hopes up, too, because it looked like today was going to be a severe weather day, and it's not. I mean, there was a tornado warning and some flash flood warnings down in Louisiana, but it definitely wasn't like a chase day. When I left home a couple, 3 or 4 days ago, I was hoping that maybe, hell shit, maybe Wednesday will be a chase day, but nope, that's okay. So I stayed somewhere over there by Springfield, Missouri last night. I was going to drive all the way home, but I stopped at a Love's and I sat in the truck for like 5 minutes, and I was like, yep, I'm done. I'm not driving anymore. The hell with this. So here we are. But if you're joining, for the rest of the month, I'm doing a live stream every day, basically to, well, offset a couple of things. So when we don't have a lot of streams, the channel actually loses subscribers, and it's not people unsubscribing, it's YouTube purging the bots. Every YouTube channel will lose like, a YouTube channel of my size will lose like 1,000 subscribers a month. I'm not talking a net loss. I just, if you get 6,000, well, then you gained 5,000. But there's usually 1,000 that get deleted because they're bots or fake accounts that YouTube goes and purges, which is good because we don't want that. Like, we don't want the spam bots and stuff. But when you're not doing any live streams to get people to subscribe, then you operate as a loss. So we're doing a live stream every day for the rest of the month to keep us at a net zero loss or gain, and hopefully generate the old ad revenue. I know everybody hates the ads, but realistically they pay the creators' bills, so they are a necessary evil. What it is. It's been dead this month, I can tell you what. So we do have a potential tropical system coming up, though. Once I get home in about 7 hours or 6 hours or whatever, I'll post a little bit more about it, but on Facebook. But we do have an upcoming potential tropical system. Yeah, so we do these short lives for like an hour or two every day, sometimes less. Like tomorrow, we'll probably talk about potential deployment chances. It actually hurts the channel a little bit because most people are here to see storm chasing, not anything but it. That's why when we do live streams like this, we'll only have like 100 to 150 viewers, and that's fine. I'm a little bit, my mentality with YouTube's a little bit different. When I started, I just, I had the goal of I wanted the YouTube channel to be as popular as possible, but YouTube popularity, or let's put it this way, success does not depend on like YouTube popularity. Success depends on if you're actually completing like the mission that you set out for, and I think we are. And it's like, you know what, if we just back off on caring so much about having like subscribers and stuff, we could have more fun and do more things. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm willing to take a little bit of a hit, where, maybe the algorithm doesn't favor us as much because, we do things like this versus actually not being able to do them because we're worried about the algorithm. You know what I mean? The alternative is I could start another channel, but guys, that wouldn't make any sense because I have to be able to make money. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I enjoy live streaming, but I'm here, I have to make money to do this, otherwise I can't do this. So if I start another channel that has like 5 subscribers, it's not going to make any money. But that's also why I mark a lot of these as members only. So, like, when we're done with the stream today, it's going to be marked as members only. So basically what that does, and this is an announcement because I've had a lot of people getting really pissed off at me, and I've been getting some, I'm not joking, like some really shitty emails. First of all, I have a question. Like, if somebody, like, hypothetically, if you've got a viewer who is so vested in the channel and just loves the channel, why would you send the channel owner an email telling them to F off? I don't get it. But anyway, I've got some nasty emails where people are really pissed at me for marking live streams as members only. Listen, folks, here's why. If I leave them all as public, we've had, 4 storm chases this month? Well, we're going to have like 14 more live streams, and what if none of them is a storm chase? When you go to my channel, all you're going to see is, oh, this guy does nothing but drive down the road and bitch about drivers. That's not good for the channel. That's going to make people unsubscribe. So if I mark them as members only, they get off my channel homepage, they go into their own section, and they don't screw up the algorithm. So you got to understand, folks, this is something that I normally wouldn't do. Normally, prior to us having channel memberships, I would never be live streaming something that wasn't storm chases. and I'm going to be very blunt and honest, and I appreciate our viewers, but I'm just going to say it how it is, because if I get one more of these emails calling me names, I'm gonna blow up, because I got 2 more of them last night, and it's just like, stop. And they're all from people that are like, I really support your channel, but you're an effing idiot. It's like, okay, then obviously you don't support the channel. Obviously not. But here's the blunt and honest truth. If I don't mark these live streams that aren't storm chases, if I don't mark them as members only when we're done streaming, I'm just deleting them. And that's what I've responded to these emails with. It's like, okay, well, the alternative is I delete the stream and then nobody can watch it. So it's either I delete the stream when we're done, so it doesn't mess up the algorithm and mess up our YouTube channel, or I mark it as members only, so it goes into its own little corner of the internet. It doesn't bother anybody. And then if you're a member, you can go back and watch it if you want to, but it also doesn't hurt us when we go live next time. So I figure that that's the better thing to do. I'm not evil. I'm not trying to milk your money out of you. So I just wanted to go ahead and address that. That's actually the main topic of this stream. I wanted to bring up and address that. That it's basically 2 options. I either just delete the stream, or I mark it as members only because I can't take the hit on the channel. That's why, please stop emailing me nasty emails, please. Like, I'm really sick and tired of it. For every 1 compliment, I get at least 10 people complaining about something. And I know they're never valid complaints. Like, somebody will email me bitching because, oh, the autofocus was messed up at this time and this date, and it's really ridiculous because I should have better quality, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, who cares? But it gets really, really, really exhausting when all you do is open your email and it's somebody telling you that you're an idiot. You know, negative voices are loud. You know, you don't go to Google reviews to leave a positive review. You go to Google reviews to complain about the service that sucked. I mean, you know, sometimes we go to leave 5-star reviews, but you know what I mean? So like, I don't take that as like a problem. I mean, I would fully expect to get more people complaining about stuff than compliments. But it's just like, that's gotta stop. Otherwise, it's gonna be, we're just gonna do the damn streams for members only, period, because, you know, and I'm not gonna do that. But it's like, if you have the desire and like you're because these people have demanded me make them public, and it's like, okay, if you want to watch the stream so bad, why are you emailing me and telling me what a piece of garbage I am? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't make our storm chases members only unless absolutely nothing happened and it might screw up the algorithm. So that's that. Now we all know. Now everybody gets it. But anyway, so the upcoming tropical potential. There is the potential for 94L to become a tropical storm or hurricane and impact the southeast U.S. And I say this all the time, but it's true. Like, it's usually the television meteorologist. I just had another television meteorologist try to cancel me this morning. Some guy from some South Carolina market try to cancel me because I shared that, you know, that yesterday I had that post where I was like, hey, if you're on the east coast of the U.S., you need to be careful. You know, we're monitoring this. And of course, he had to take a screenshot of my Facebook post and plaster it all over his 50,000 followers, which was fewer than I have, by the way. Not to blow my own whistle here, but and tell everybody not to listen to me because I'm just out here, quote unquote, fear mongering. And I'm starting to see a pattern here, and I'm not against any of you TV meteorologists, but I'm starting to wonder if this is where the media is trying to silence the independent, like, freelance people like me because they're threatened. Because I don't think I did anything in there that I would consider fear-mongering, and I'm kind of wondering if these TV people are seeing this and they're like, we have to cancel these people and paint them to be the bad guys, or we're going to be, because, you know, or they're going to take over our jobs. And I'm kind of wondering if that's what it is, because it's always the TV people that seem to try to cancel me, or other forecasters when they disagree with something. And I kind of take that as a compliment, because it's like, wow, you know, you're paid $100,000 a year to forecast the weather on TV, and you're choosing to spend your time off criticizing people on Facebook. It's like, okay, I guess I am valuable if that's how you're spending your free time. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, I mean, I guess that means that we're reaching the right people, sort of. I guess maybe that's a good thing. But I always add this disclaimer, like, this isn't necessarily a promise or a forecast, but I do believe we have a credible threat where the southeast United States coast could potentially be impacted by a tropical system sometime next week. I don't know how strong of a tropical system, and I really don't know how confident I am in this actually happening, because we don't really have good model data, because some of the models take this thing and put it out to sea. Some of the models don't even develop it. And some of the models take it and run it right into the Georgia and South Carolina coast. I don't know which to believe. We've got like 3 or 4 different solutions. So which one do you believe? Because all of the credible models have a different, there's a big spread. I think, in my opinion, I am like 50, when I say the most likely solution, I mean maybe I'm like 5% more on this camp, or in this camp of solutions. I think that this will impact the United States, but I'm not leaning toward that by very much, just a little sliver. Otherwise I'm pretty undecided. But because of that, and what a lot of these, I've been talking a lot on Facebook and stuff, and streams about how we have to get prepared, and we, like Project Weather Eye, has to mobilize quickly. A lot of these TV meteorologists down there aren't getting it. When I say that we have to start, because this guy I need to go find this guy. I think he actually deleted it because there was somebody, and it was someone I recognized from chat. If I see the username, I'll know who it is. But somebody that was one of our channel members or whatever lit this dude up, and I think he got kind of reverse canceled, and I think he took it down. But it was he took a screenshot of my Twitter, or of my Facebook, and then also took a thing of my Project Weather Eye Twitter account, and he was basically mocking me, saying that we were sending resources there immediately. He's like, there's no reason to even send resources, and who even are these people? It's just like, dude, like, he seemed to think that we were claiming to be a government. This guy is a lunatic, and I swear to God, I probably am going to email his boss. Like, I don't believe in cancel culture, but if you're a TV meteorologist and you're trying to cancel somebody who's providing a free service, potentially to your viewers, that could protect their life and property, like, and you're criticizing them, screw you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's basically what I had to say to that D-bag. But somebody kind of went off on him, and then a couple other people jumped him, and I think it got taken down. I'll see if I can find it again. I actually found it when I was walking out of the hotel, but he was mocking that. So I want to bring this up with what this guy wasn't understanding. Project Weather Eye is a group of independent people. We have people as far west as the West Coast, and people as far east as the East Coast, as far south as the Gulf, and as far north as Canada. For us to mobilize people and get them all the way to a remote to them corner of the United States of America, and get anywhere from 50 to 100 individual pieces of equipment, it does not happen overnight. It takes a week to mobilize that. So our project has to get moving, even if this isn't really a guaranteed threat to the United States. We have to take a risk, and at least some of us have to start moving before it's even a threat. That's why I am going to retrieve equipment and start driving that way. And I might get there, and it might not even ever happen. But we have to chalk that up as it's just part of the job, because otherwise we will show up late, we won't be able to deploy, and we could have problems. We don't require our entire deployment team to show up prior to this, but we have to at least get some representatives from our group, not necessarily on site, because we don't know where this thing's going to go yet, but we have to get them in the potential hot zone at least 5 days prior to anything happening. And then we need to get everybody there 3 days prior. So basically, for me to get home, I leave tomorrow. That puts me down there on Saturday. What if this thing happens on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday? It's a good thing I went early. So that's why I've been so on this thing, because our clock is ticking. To have any margin of error could potentially cause horrible problems when it comes to timing. Something as simple as getting a flat tire, or something as stupid as locking your keys in your vehicle on the way, where you have to sit and wait 6 hours for someone to get it, something stupid like that, or even something totally out of your control, like, I don't know, there's a big accident and you got to reroute around, now you've got a 3-hour delay. If you put it down to the wire, let's say if we plan on getting there the day before the hurricane or something, a 3-hour delay is like damn near 25% of daylight hours. That's why we have to deploy early, days early, and deploy in waves. The first wave we might put 10 units out 3 days prior, and then 2 days prior we might put 15 more out, and then the day prior we might go put another 15 more out, and then we have our ones to fill in and stuff. So that's why I've been really on this thing aggressively, because this kind of applies to you people that live in that area as well. There is not a lot of time. If or when this thing forms, and it does come to the United States, it is likely that there will not be much margin or lead time between a designated storm and a landfalling storm, most likely. The problem that's complicating this is we've got another storm that could develop just a couple 100 miles off to its east. And that might pull it or push it, try to steer it. We just don't really know what the hell's going to happen right now, and I don't claim to know. I don't think anybody's claiming to know. But because one of these solutions that is on the table is a United States impact, our business that relies, or where it's our job to deploy to these hot zones, basically, because that threat is on the table, we have to basically take it seriously as if it were actually happening. Like, we are literally planning for don't take this out of context, but Project Weather Eye is planning for a United States major hurricane impact from 94L. And the reason I say don't take that out of context is because we are quite literally planning for the worst. The ceiling on this would be a major hurricane hitting the United States. We have to make sure we have our resources and our people and our equipment in place for that to happen. I don't think that is likely, but we have to prepare for that so that if that were to happen, we're not a bunch of idiots that showed up outnumbered, basically. I think the most likely scenario would be a strong tropical storm, maybe a weak hurricane. But we're preparing for a scenario where this is like a worst case scenario. Just because that's what we have to do. So that's kind of what our status is. I think that we're going to know a little bit more about these potential storms later on tonight, this evening or tonight, because the National Hurricane Center, the hurricane reconnaissance is out in these storms right now. We're going out or something. So we're going to get actual data, not just interpolated data, which is basically data that we just kind of assume. You know, for example, let's say if you've got two thermometers, you've got one in Austin, Texas, and you've got another in Oklahoma City. In Oklahoma City, the temperature is 85, and the temperature in Austin, Texas is 75. Well, then you can probably interpolate the data and say that in Dallas, right in between the two, it's probably 80. You know, so there's a lot of that goes on out there because we don't exactly have like a mesonet, so our surface observations are heavily interpolated, but we're going to get actual real-time data, and that's good because that means our weather models should be able to ingest that data and probably come out with a pretty decent or a little bit more accurate solution instead of just putting low pressure plots all over the board in random places. So we should start to get some model agreement later. I would hope that by tomorrow evening, Thursday evening, we can at least say, hey, this is either probably going out to sea and it's no longer a problem, or it's probably coming to us, so we need to watch it. But like I said, the model data has been exceptionally poor with these two events. Like it's been all over the place, and you can't trust it because one model run it changes from the other, but some of the models are really hanging on to the potential area of development staying farther west, which would basically put it on some sort of a path for the United States at some point. So, but the other good news is that it's going to be forming pretty close to the United States. So that means that there's not going to be a whole lot of time for this thing to strengthen, but we have to be a little bit cautious here because, you know, we can't really trust our model data very much right now. And if we start having models that are outputting weak hurricanes or weak tropical storms, well, we can't really trust them because they're quite inaccurate right now. Just there's too many variables. So it's like, just because it shows a weak storm, I mean, hell, it could end up being a strong storm. Like, we don't know, but you know, worst case scenario would be this thing forming, being a pretty considerable hurricane, and then just driving itself right up the East Coast and not even making landfall, like just staying off the coast and just constantly pushing water on shore. That would be a problem. That would be a challenge.
Merge onto Illinois 140 East, then turn left.
I gotta get gas. Oh my god, this Love's is freaking packed.
Turn left. Then
Holy
turn
smokes, is there even an open pump? Oh wow, they got the corn picked right there already. God, I hate this time of year when you start seeing cornfields picked, so you know what's coming next. Freaking Mariah Carey and her shitty Christmas music's about to come out, I can just tell. I can't take that pump because that guy parked blocking, so I can't pull all the way in. What about this pump? Oh, that guy's a character. I can take this pump though. That guy's hair is really fluffy. Oh, let me... Alright, let me get some of this trash out of here. I probably should go in and get something, but I'll just wait until I get to like freaking Bloomington. 'Cause I don't think I need to get gas after I'm here. I think I'll have enough gas to get home. Hold on, let me see how many miles it is. $350. Yeah, I don't have to stop until I get home unless I want to, so we can stop wherever I want then. Oh, it's still pretty warm out. It's actually pretty nice out today. All right, time for overpriced fuel. I should have got gas back there in Missouri. My mistake, that's for sure. I don't think that there's going to be much on the horizon for severe weather here for a little while. So, like, we're not really missing anything today. Let's see here, 12Z, blah, 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 whatever run. I really hope this thing doesn't form and go to Florida. I really don't want to go all the way down there. There's some models that are actually putting this thing somehow in the Gulf, and that's not going to happen. Like that, our model runs are just like the model outputs are so all over the place. Like you can't trust any of them right now. Because right now, if you look at satellite, like if you open Radar Omega or something and just look at satellite, it's really just a blob of rain showers right now. Some thunderstorms. It's down there by Puerto Rico. The oh, okay. Now that was a very slow pump. Now we're done pumping gas. God dang, why did that take so long? Hold on. Well, there goes $56. Probably would have been like $50 any other place. That was actually why I wanted to get gas here, because it's like $3 here. But I know that once we get like into Illinois, like Bloomington and stuff, it's probably like $3.50. So at least that's how it usually is. But no, what I was getting at was, we're gonna sneak through here. There's a bunch of cars over there.
Head west toward Illinois 140 west.
Watch out, freaking Kia here is just whatever.
Head east toward Illinois 140 west.
I think if we can get that Invest 94, which is the western one, that's the one that would concern us. If we can get that one to stay farther away from 93, which is the one that's just off to its east, I think that would increase our overall risk for some sort of United States impact. Because I think what would cause this thing to most likely go back out to sea is some sort of interaction with 93. Maybe, maybe not, but I think those two interacting might cause it to get pulled east. But it's anybody's guess at this point, so. But, you know, nothing is set in stone, so a lot is going to change. I mean, don't be surprised if we start getting model outputs tonight that are vastly different than what they were early. Dude, I can't. Buddy, you gotta. Jeez. There's no room to squeeze through there. We're probably going to have vastly different solutions tonight versus we did this afternoon, and probably from what we will have tomorrow morning. So it's going to be really important to not get focused on a solution. Like, if the models start coming out and this thing looks like it's coming to the United States, we can't really get sold on that because they might change in 24 hours. Like, there's going to be a lot of model variability. There's a lot of different variables right now with this, you know, tropical weather setup than there normally is. You know, and one of those big ones being the fact that there might be two tropical systems in progress at the same time in close proximity, which is going to mean that there's going to be a lot that can change. So we're going to have to be particularly cautious with model solutions and what we take as a likely solution versus, you know, just fluff. So. But I don't know. And like I said, I opened up Twitter and there was screenshots of some of the spaghetti plots were actually putting this thing in the frickin' Gulf of Mexico, which, I mean, come on, that's not. I would throw that out. Or I'm sorry, Gulf of America, Gulf of Tears. Gulf of I don't give a crap. I'm not even going to entertain it. I don't even care. It's the Gulf of Canada at this point. Don't care. But that would be very unlikely. But it's been a long time since I've been on the ground for an East Coast hurricane. I think the last one, was it Dorian? 2017 or 2018? It was the one that just like sat and spun over the Bahamas or something. It like, whichever one it was, and I think it was Dorian, it almost made landfall, but it didn't. Like, it kind of curved back out. Like, it never actually made landfall, even though it got like within a few miles. I think that was the one. But other than that, I haven't really had any. I mean, we did have Hurricane Ian, but that was the second landfall. And that was really, that thing, if you want my opinion, that was very weak sauce. I know there was flooding out there, I get it, you know, it was impactful, but that thing did not seem like a hurricane. That thing seemed like a summertime rain shower. That was very overhyped on the second landfall. And I heard that from a lot of people that were in the Charleston, South Carolina area when that thing made landfall a second time also. Like, a lot of people agree with me on that. So, the past, like, 5 years, it's been Gulf Coast. and quite a bit of Florida. So a little bit different. So I don't know, but I think I'll probably start doing, so I might start doing some even like Facebook live streaming. So like I really don't care about X, folks. Like I have a large following over there, but it's not that I don't care about the audience or the followers, but I don't care about like this clown show of a weather community. And the problem is, no matter how many people I block, I've got like damn near everybody blocked. No matter how many people I block over there, like they're just nasty, and like then they just create more accounts. Like they just haven't ruined Facebook yet. So the work has been going into Facebook. I don't give a shit about X. So follow the Facebook page, guys. There's a link at seethestorm.net. And the Facebook page is where you're going to find this, because I'm probably going to start doing some live streams on there. If this thing looks like it's going to be a United States landfall and we deploy on it, then I'll probably start doing a couple, like maybe even 3 or 4 live streams a day over there, just giving updates. But I would expect to see, I mean, if this does come to the United States, I mean, we'll be doing a lot with it. We'll be out for it. It should be, obviously we don't want a hurricane to come and mess up everybody's life. I don't take it that way, but I'm very honest and forthcoming about this. Like, many of us have spent a lot of work readying what we have, and we would like to be able to use it. So I'm not gonna lie, it's not that I want a hurricane to come and blow a bunch of stuff away, but I would like to have the opportunity for us to do what we're here to do. It's not that I want the hurricane to come, but if it's going to come, I want to be there, if that makes sense. Yeah, the porn on Twitter is ridiculous. Like, it's really bad. It's really, really embarrassing when you open Twitter in public and there's literally porn on it. And like some guy's looking at your phone screen, and then you look like a freaking creep. So, but I will tell you though, I think our time might be coming here this week, but it's been a while. I mean, hell, I think we determined that I haven't even been to Florida since last October, so I haven't been in the Southeast for some time. I mean, definitely be a change of scenery. We've actually been streaming for about an hour, believe it or not. We'll go for another hour, I think. Yeah, the clouds are almost more interesting than what we saw yesterday. I still can't believe that. Drove all the way from... I mean, these past 2 days were just stupid, like in general, because... Let's see, I drove from home. So I drove from home to Topeka, Kansas, because it looked like it was going to be western Kansas. Then decided, nope, it's not. It's going to be Lincoln, Nebraska. So I drove from Topeka back up to Lincoln. No, I drove from Topeka to Salina, and then from Salina to Lincoln. And then it turned out that that was kind of crap. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was crap. And then I drove all the way down to Kansas City, and then drove all the way down to Fort Smith, Arkansas, basically. And then we drove to Tulsa, and then gave up, and then now I'm in Illinois. Like, that was a really stupid 48 hours. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, usually one of those days will pay off, but not this time. Yeah, it looks kind of cold out. Like, it looks cold and crappy, but it's actually pretty nice out. I can't see the thermometer right now because I've got CarPlay plugged in, and I don't have the thermometer when it's on CarPlay, which sucks. But it's probably in the mid 70s. Like, when I got out of the truck there to get gas, it was pretty nice. Even at home, it's supposed to be pretty warm for like the next week and a half, which is good because this is that time of the year, at least up where I live, where you can really have it go both ways. It can either go like where you almost get an early fall or an early cold season, or you can go late and you get a really late cold season. And it sucks when the cold season comes early because you really feel like you're stuck in it forever. Because I don't know about anybody else that lives up there, but at least in my part of the state, we really haven't gotten spring until June. I mean, like, it's actually been extremely depressing and extremely, like, weird. Like, ever since, like, 2020, like, the average temperature in May has been, like, 60 degrees, and it's like, what is going on? Like, we used to have warm Aprils, and now our Aprils are like basically just another March. So when you talk about it being like frickin' cold from the back half of September all the way through like October, November, December, January, February, March, you know, we're talking like a solid 6 to 7 months out of the year with it being like cold and nasty. Like, that gets old. No wonder everybody up in that area is like kind of mean. So they're always pissed off all the time because the weather sucks. But it's nice that it's going to stay a little bit warm here. But it won't be long, folks, and we might even have a kind of a random standalone snowstorm that comes up. I think it was yesterday there was some snow north of Denver along I-25 or something. I don't know, but or whatever that is, 25. Obviously getting up into the higher elevation, but It's something we honestly need to pay attention to because last year it was either the last like 3 or 4 days of October or the first like 3 or 4 days of November when we had the Trinidad blizzard. And we got like 3 feet of snow in 2 days. That was actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. And that was because that was right around Halloween. So, I mean, we got to watch out west. I mean, we might actually have a snow opportunity here in the next couple of weeks. You're really going to mix bag this time of year with stuff. So, you know, you can have a snowstorm one day and then a tornado outbreak 2 days later. Yeah, sometimes we get lake effect stuff too. Early season. I think it was a week before. Was it a week before Thanksgiving? Or maybe it was the week of Thanksgiving. A couple years ago, we had that big Buffalo lake effect event. That was pretty cool. But we're almost to tornado season again. I mean, seriously, when you think about it, because we're looking at, let's see, it's basically October. So we got November, December, January, February. We've got like 4 months, well, 4.5 months. Well, we'll just call it 4 months. So we have 4 months. And if you think about what was 4 months ago, it would have been like September, August, July, basically June. So like, I don't even remember what the hell we did in June. So, I mean, that's how fast the time can go. So, and you think about it, you know, usually there's kind of during the slower season, there's at least 2 things to chase per week. But, I mean, we'll burn through that real fast. So, because it seems like we pretty much went right through summer. I mean, I didn't do anything that I wanted to do this summer at all. Not a single thing. But I don't know. There'll probably be some sort of big snowstorm before Christmas. Like last year, we didn't really have much for snowstorms. Like we had the Trinidad one. That was pretty cool, but that one was honestly probably the most fun I'd ever had in the snow. Because what started was that, so that the day, like 2 or 3 days before the Trinidad storm, how this all like went down. There was a severe weather event in Arkansas, and I think it was Western Arkansas, just like yesterday, and it was kind of a bust. And I think actually a bunch of people drove up to Joplin, kind of like I did last, stayed in Joplin, woke up in the morning and started looking, like there was a bunch of like social media posts and stuff, and everyone's like, oh my god, look at the snowstorm. Started looking at the snowfall maps from the Weather Service for out in Colorado, and it was looking like there might be like 6 to 8 inches for like eastern Colorado, so like the Lyman area. And it's like, well, shit, like why not? Just drive across Kansas and you're there. Like, let's just go anyway. So went. And then it started, like, as, like, driving through Kansas, the totals started going up and up. And then it ended up saying, like, 17 inches for Lyman. And then the next day, so it was day 1 was the Arkansas severe weather. Day 2 was driving from Joplin to Lyman. So drove west out of Joplin all the way to Wichita, and then north, stopped in Salina at the Walmart, and then drove the rest of the way. Got to Lyman, and then so that was day 2, and then day 3 was chasing the snow around Lyman that was just a cluster. And then at the end of that day, decided to go down to Trinidad because it was like the snow totals were just insane down there, or going to be insane down there. So that was day 3. Day 4 was Trinidad. Day 5 was Trinidad again. And then day 6 was pretty much over, but there was a little bit to drive around and see. So that was a big event. You know, if I would have missed it, I would have cried, because that was a good one to be on. Trinidad's really pretty, but it was also pretty cool to be able to just be like right in the middle of it all, and then just be able to stay there and not worry about it. But it was weird driving through eastern Colorado, because it was actively moderate to heavy snow the entire drive from Lyman to Trinidad. And that's a drive that I don't think I ever made in the winter before. Like, I drove down, and at one point I drove down Highway 24 toward Colorado Springs from Lyman. So, like, I think I went as far as Simla. I think I turned around in Simla. And it was really weird, because all those little towns on Highway 24, those are all towns that I'm used to stopping in when there's, like, a storm or a tornado. And, like, I remember driving by, like, places that I remember stopping when it was like 100 degrees out and there was just like a giant storm or even like a tornado. Like, I have a picture of a tornado between, it's not Raymer, or is it Raymer? It's something with an R. Raymer, Reams, Raymond, I don't know, something like that. Between that town and Simla, of a tornado from like 3 years ago in 2022. And I remember, like, I pulled up the picture on my phone. I'm like, there's no way this is the same spot. And it was the same spot. Like, same fence post, same tree, but there was like a 3-foot snowdrift. Like, it's just really weird. Like, I know that that's a normal concept for people to understand the seasons, but I just think that's so weird when you're not from there, where like you always drive through there during a certain time of year, and then you see it during a different time of year. It's almost like you're in a whole different place. So that was pretty cool, I thought. I really did enjoy that. That was fun. I gotta look at a map now and see what the name of that damn town is. It's gonna bother me. Rama. Yeah, I went all the way to freaking Rama. But yeah, that Trinidad day, man, that was fun. And that was actually kind of a nice drive out of there too. Drove up I-25 to Denver. No. Drove up I-25 to Colorado Springs and then went east on 70 and then basically came back out in Lyman. You know, came back out in Lyman and then went east. Or did I go up I-80? Ah, shit. I don't know. Hold on a minute. I have to look. If I don't look, it's going to really bother me. I don't need the GPS up, so I'll look. But that was a fun trip. And like that's why sometimes the winter goes by really fast, because that trip alone, that was like 10 days. That was a 10-day chunk out of the winter. Like that was over a week. And if we're talking about like roughly 8 to 10 weeks of like quote unquote winter season, I mean, hell, that was a tenth to a little more than a tenth of the winter. Just right there. Because we had, you know, when you factored in being down there for the severe weather and then going out for the snow and all that. Let's see, 2024. Oh, wow. So that was actually an active period. So it looks like on October 30th, we must have had something in Oklahoma. So I was in Oklahoma. Halloween the 31st, and I do remember this now, was nothing. Sat at the hotel. I remember that was the day that I waxed the car. I know it sounds ridiculous that's what I remember, but I specifically remember having nothing to do on Halloween. It was a down day, so I just I went and got wax at the Walmart in El Reno, and I waxed the car. Like that was the highlight of my day in the hotel parking lot, and I did that. And then the next day, so the November 1st, I drove all the way to Midland, Texas, it looks like. We storm chased down there. On the 2nd, so November 2nd, we actually had a Southeast New Mexico day. November 3rd, I drove up to, it looks like McAllister, Oklahoma. That was probably a travel day. On the 4th, yeah, so November 4th was the Western Arkansas severe weather day. The 5th, November 5th, was where I drove through Kansas and went to Lyman. November 6th was chasing in Lyman and then going back down to Trinidad. November 7th, November 8th. Yeah, so then November 7th and November 8th were the Trinidad days. The 9th, we left Trinidad around noon, drove up to, it looks like Colorado Springs, went to Lyman. And then took I-70, it looks like stopped for gas in Burlington. And I guess got a hotel in Salina by the looks of it. And then the next day I drove home. So that's what's cool about having this Google Maps timeline log your location, is you can like go back and look at stuff like that. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I would love another Trinidad snowstorm. Those Colorado snowstorms are fun. You know, when you can get way out, you know, kind of in the middle of nowhere, that's usually where you have the most intense conditions too, because you don't have trees or people or buildings blocking the wind. But I don't know. Tell you what though, if we do end up with a kind of a dud of a hurricane season for the U.S., it sure is gonna make for a weird slow season, I tell you what. There might be some rain, maybe some flooding, I guess, down in like southeast Arizona, southwest New Mexico. Honestly, I probably would bite on it and just go take a look at it. It looks like some heavy rain and stuff. I mean, it's kind of a neat place to go anyway. I probably would head down there, but that would obviously screw our potential tropical deployment, so. Just not used to it being, I mean, we had such a busy year. The first half of this year was so busy that it's just hard to imagine, like it's just weird being slow. Getting reports that our potential tropical development here is starting to look pretty hot on satellite. I guess I could look. Yeah. If you look at satellite, it's that blob that's down there by Puerto Rico. Just eager to see this thing develop into something. Like once it starts to form, it's a lot easier to track something that exists versus something that doesn't even exist yet, you know. We just need it to exist so that we can start making some determinations. But I don't know, guys. I think it's 50-50 here. But like I said last night, if this thing does not develop or track into the United States somehow, it might be a done. The tropical season in terms of U.S. impacts might be done before they even happened, honestly. I mean, we've still got till the middle of November, but long-range model signals don't really show a whole lot. And yeah, long range can't really be fully trusted, but you can look at it and kind of be like, you know, you can kind of make a general assumption of how things might go. So I also, though, we kind of have to acknowledge that there still could be like something that forms out of like Central America and comes north. That's usually something you're not going to see very much on the models until it's very close. I just got sent the 10-day tropical storm probability, and there's actually a fairly respectable amount of 30 to 60 percentile, 30 to 50 percentile area for South Carolina and North Carolina. So I don't know, folks. I don't think we're out of the woods with this one. this is boring. Okay, well, yet you're here, so. Okay. Yeah, we're coming up on Springfield pretty soon. Christ, freaking wind blowing me all over there. It is pretty windy out here, though. Yeah, I don't even think we have any SPC risks after tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow's just a marginal risk. I mean, it's kind of nothing anyway, so definitely gonna be quiet. Probably through the weekend. But every time we say that, usually something manages to happen somewhere. It's just very, kind of goes under the radar. It's not well forecasted. You know? But sometimes this time of the year when it looks quiet and everything, you'll actually get a spin up in the, or a quick little severe event that forms up in like the Texas Panhandle or sometimes even Oklahoma or something, you know, on these like marginal risk or no risk days. So you kind of got to watch for that. Sometimes you can pick up the pattern and it's worth going out and taking a look at. I don't know. I was hoping that today was going to be something to do, though. So like I mentioned, you know, when I originally set out, it looked like today, Wednesday, might actually be something. And honestly, maybe there'd be something today. I mean, there's some severe warnings right now down there in like southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, but if you look at radar, I'm surprised they're severe warned. They're just blobs. Like it's just a large, like it's like just one ginormous rain shower. But if you look south into like central Louisiana, you'll see some like line segments and clusters with lots of lightning. It's possible that maybe some of those will be severe. And honestly, if this tropical thing wasn't a potential problem, I probably would have drove down there for it. Probably would be pretty disappointing like yesterday, but it's one of those things where it's like sometimes it's kind of nice to, you know, not worry about tornadoes or big hail and just go see if you can find a cool looking cloud. So honestly, I did look yesterday afternoon. I was thinking, well, we could go down to like Alexandria. So like we probably would have been down there by like Alexandria, which if you look, a lot of those storms are forming between like Alexandria and the Mississippi border going east there. There's even a couple like streamers of storms that extend back into southeast Texas. Might actually be an okay chase day. I don't know if any other streamers went down there, but I wouldn't blame anybody if they did. When it's slow like this, it doesn't hurt to you know, go after stuff like that, because it's kind of like, well, what else are you gonna do? So, and believe it or not, that part of Louisiana is actually not that bad. It's northern Louisiana, like along I-20, west of like Monroe. And like also like the northwest corner that's really tough. Like east central and like Louisiana, kind of down by where that stuff is right now, really isn't that bad. Like it's definitely like you can get some places where you can see the sky. There's farmland and everything. Stupid tropical thing. We could have been down there. I actually would have enjoyed being down there. It's been a while. I like Louisiana, believe it or not. But that's really the only area today that I would have any interest in for severe weather. I know that marginal risk goes across other parts of the South too, but I think that's kind of the main area there. Would have been able to get down there, had plenty of time. It was the getting back that I was worried about, because that would have meant leaving the area tonight, probably having to drive to, I mean, I wouldn't stay in Memphis because I don't want to get shot at, but the Memphis area, I would have to drive all the way probably up to freaking Memphis tonight, or Little Rock, depending on which way we got out of there, I guess. And then, you know, a 10-hour drive tomorrow, and then that puts you getting back. Hey, I'll fix the focus here. That puts me getting back home at, well, it would have been late tomorrow night, and that means I'd have no time to get stuff ready and turn around, so it would have just been cutting it a little too close, which sucks, but because we probably could have made a day out of today. That was actually a big reason why I came out on this trip. It was like, well, you know, we're probably going to have 3 days of chasing. If I would have known it was going to be one really pretty pitiful day yesterday, and like 45 minutes of daytime storm before it goes nighttime and garbage the day before. You know, I don't know if I would have came out. But also don't have a whole lot of choice when it's this slow. You have to take what you can get. But yeah, it's kind of a crappy day out. It's been pretty much cloudy and kind of like rainy ever since I left. When I left Southwest Missouri this morning, it's kind of foggy. But it's not cold out. It looks cold though. Like when I got out back there to get gas, I was really surprised because it looks cold, but it's not. It's pretty nice. It's just kind of depressing out. What the hell? Come on, guys. There we go. Jesus. Great. Rock chip right in the middle of the window. Great. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but that's awesome. $1,500 windshield. Great. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be fucking kidding me. Oh boy. Great. Oh, there goes $1,500. Not even, I'm not kidding. It is that, this windshield is that expensive, and I don't know if there's any repair in that one. God damn it. I have broken more windshields in the past 2 years because of rocks than I have with hail. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, it's either rocks or... Last year I hit a bird, and apparently the bird was so damn heavy it put a crack in the windshield. Like, a bird. Of all things, I hit a bird and it breaks my windshield. Guys, if I put music on, they're going to demonetize my channel, and I'm not going to be able to be here because I won't be able to make money. So, sorry. And as you can see, we literally just racked up a $1,500 bill because of a pebble. So, it is kind of important to be able to have some sort of revenue coming in out here, as you can imagine. Safelite can repair things like that, but the problem is you see the repair, and it's literally right where the camera goes. There is no way that I can reposition the camera so that it's not in the camera view. So, believe it or not, the repair will be visible, and that's a problem. So, like, it could have happened anywhere else, but it happened in the middle of the windshield. Trust me, folks, I've dealt with this so many times that I've really found out what's worth repairing and what isn't. You know, plexiglass windshield would just get scratched. Yeah, when they repair them, you can still see the repair. But I do need to stop and get a windshield repair kit so that this doesn't turn into a giant crack, because I'm probably not going to have time to get this windshield replaced before this potential hurricane, and if it turns into a giant crack, we're going to be in trouble. So I need to go get some resin and put some windshield resin in there so this doesn't spread out, because otherwise it's going to spread out. So we need to stop at a Walmart as soon as we get out of town here and get one of those little windshield repair things, because if we don't get some filler in there, that thing's gonna water's gonna get in it, it's gonna spread out, it's gonna make cracks all over. Even sometimes just hitting a pothole, like just the jarring can spread the cracks out. So but I'll stop at a Walmart once I get down the road. I don't want to, I'm not even entirely sure where I'm at on the map, but I really don't want to stop here. Just need to get up the road some. This is kind of a club. There's just too many people. It's too busy of an area. There's just too much going on. It's going to make getting back on the road that much harder. Anyway, traffic should thin out a little bit. Usually it does up here. Yeah, I got like 4 hours till I get home, which isn't bad. Definitely, I'm kind of sick of driving though. Let's see. Anything new here? Yeah, it just came out with the updated marginal risk today. It goes basically from South Texas all the way up to Tennessee. So, yeah, it's basically for those ongoing storms, it looks like. really windy out today, though. Kind of tired of driving in it, honestly. Yeah, I am just really sick and tired of driving because it's just been like this whole trip has just been driving. A lot of wasted miles too. Like there was a lot of driving out of the way that we didn't have to, really probably shouldn't have had to do. No, definitely not going the wrong way. That's for sure. At least I don't think so. But anyway, I think... Holy Christ, this guy over here is really working hard to pick the heck out of his nose. Jesus, I hope he gets it out. Really working on that thing. But I think that we're going to have a decision on this tropical stuff by tomorrow. I mean, I'm not, when I say that, I don't mean that like we're going to have an official forecast. We're going to know where it's going and we're going to know what kind of storm it's going to be, blah, blah, blah. But definitely don't mean that. But I think that we'll at least be able to say with at least a little bit more confidence that yes, it's going out to sea or no, it's not. I hope. Really just want a little bit more confidence in the forecast. Making this drive quite a bit before too long. This is kind of my route to get down to a lot of these Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi severe weather events that we usually get quite a few of in the winter, so get used to this highway. Now, this is probably the farthest I've driven in Illinois without having like road construction slowdowns though for a long time. I got 5 miles till we. Wait a minute. Okay. I have 5 minutes till we get to where 55 and 155 splits off, but it's Bloomington where I get on 39 and go north. I used to make this drive a lot. But, I mean, we'll be making this drive probably once a week from November all the way through the end of March. I actually avoided Illinois like the plague during COVID. So, I'm not trying to upset anybody. Remember, folks, I want you guys all to understand that, you know, it's okay for people to disagree. But the reason, because someone asked, I avoided Illinois like the plague during COVID. I wasn't a mask person, and I definitely wasn't really a supporter of just shutting businesses down. The Illinois governor, J.V. Pritzker, I'm sorry, his own party doesn't even like him. I mean, he's basically the governor of Chicago, and anybody who lives in Illinois probably respects the hell out of me for saying that, but because it's the truth. But he's not the governor of Illinois, he's the governor of Chicago. But he's not a very honest person, but that's on both political sides, but that's not the point. But they tried to basically just make it so nobody could run a business, and like I know a lot of states were telling restaurants and stuff to do takeout only and stuff, but Illinois was exceptionally bad, where they actually tried to force the Illinois State Police to like enforce restaurant closures and stuff, and they flat out like refused to. And it was like they were butting heads with the government because the state police is like, no, that's not, we're not doing that. It was a really dark time in Illinois, but you could go across the border into Iowa or across the border into Wisconsin, and it was fine. But, and you know, I just deleted a comment. Somebody was upset because I said I wasn't a mask person, but folks, like the whole mask thing, like I get it. To say that I'm anti-science is fucking stupid. But, especially when I'm a healthcare provider, technically. But, yes, if you are spitting and you have, like, the COVID and you're outside and you're talking to somebody or whatever and you're in Walmart and you're, like, spitting your germs all over the place, yes, I technically wearing a mask will stop you from spraying your nasty COVID germs all over everybody. It's correct. However, what it came down to was, I'm an adult and I felt like I should be able to be around other people and go to the store and just know that if I'm sick or could potentially be sick, to just stay away from people. And I'm really good at staying away from people, if you haven't noticed. So I actually never did the mask thing, and I got kicked out of a couple of places, and I had the cops called on me in one, and I had a security guard at the Home Depot in Verona, Wisconsin, go postal on me and tell me he was going to detain me, which is not legal. He's not a law enforcement officer. But I know that upsets some people, but someone asked, and you know what? If somebody's going to ask, I'm going to give you an answer, because, I mean, why not? We're all allowed to be adults and have a discussion. But that's why I actually avoided Illinois during COVID, because there really wasn't anywhere that was... It was very militaristic. Like, I was honestly waiting for the MPs to come out and start kicking people out of the streets. Like, it was not, like... It's not even like the whole government thing. It was just, you felt very unwelcomed, and you felt like somebody was almost hunting you. It was a very weird feeling. Like, you know, they basically wouldn't let the police be the police. Like, they wouldn't let them do traffic stops. They wouldn't let, unless it was like a violent crime or a misdemeanor or something. They wouldn't let, you know, like if you called the cops, like if you had a legit, like a trespasser or somebody that damaged your property, like the cops like were told not to handle it. And it's just, it was weird, because I felt like there were a lot of people doing some really bad things. And then you had the opposite, where you had the state of Illinois constantly just hammering this rhetoric of, if you're outside and you don't have a mask on, you're a piece of junk and go to hell and all this, and get out of our state. And it was really bad. And a lot of the people that lived in Illinois for those 3 years or whatever complained about like how awful it was, and it wasn't a good representation of their state. Like, you know, I was fully on board. Like, I don't believe that Tylenol causes autism, so don't put me in that boat. Seriously, Jesus Christ, like, what the hell is wrong with this world? But whatever. Anyway, that's a different topic. But, and that's my own party, for Christ's sakes. Like, what the hell are we doing? This is ridiculous. But I think that, like, I felt so uncomfortable. Like, I hated it. You know, pumping gas. And like some of the people, like if you were in Chicago, like I'd be in Chicago area pumping gas, standing outside of my car, and somebody told me I needed to put a mask on. Like, there was somebody came up and confronted me to tell me to put a mask on while I'm pumping gas outside. Like, it was another patron. A patron of the gas station walked across the parking lot to come make contact with me to tell me to put a mask on. That doesn't make any sense, because if you're concerned about me infecting you with COVID, then you shouldn't approach me. You should stay your distance. Like, there was nobody around me. There was literally no point of me having a mask on when there's nobody near me. Like, the COVID wasn't just like getting wings and floating around. Like, I didn't infect that airspace for simply being there. You know what I'm saying? It was just a really, and like there were people that were very hostile, and then you had the opposite. You also had the people who were like the anti-maskers and the anti-vaxxers, and they were doing the same thing too, and getting really like almost violent and confrontational with people for wearing masks. That's just, it was a scary time. I didn't like it. You know, it's, you know, I'm an adult, and you know what, if we've got a health crisis going on, fine. I'm just not going to socialize, and I'm just going to stay on my own. But if I want to go pick up food at a restaurant, I should be able to go get my damn food. You know, that's kind of what it came down to. And Illinois was I drove a lot of places during COVID. Well, I'll tell you the story about Storm Chaser Dan Robinson in a second. You guys got to crap your pants laughing. But I drove all over this country, and the state of Illinois was the only state where I felt like I was almost being hunted. It was like you were in this dystopian, like, post-government apocalypse land. I'm not even kidding. It was a very strange feeling. I didn't like it. It made me extremely uncomfortable. So I would avoid Illinois. I would drive up through Indianapolis and then cut through Chicago real fast to get home. Or I would go if I was going south, I would drive all the way to Iowa, drop down through Iowa, go through Missouri, and then come around the bottom of Illinois. It was like 4 hours longer, but I did it anyway because I was so uncomfortable in Illinois. But no, the Dan Robinson thing, there's a storm chaser, his name's Dan Robinson, and I probably shouldn't throw him under the bus, but he threw everybody under the bus. During COVID, he made a post and a video that he was going to turn in every storm chaser that was caught chasing during COVID because they were violating the stay-at-home orders, which it's not constitutional to have an order say you're staying at home, you can't let, that's bullshit. He literally had like this database going on social media of every chaser that he caught chasing during COVID and was like shaming them, saying that they were violating stay-at-home orders. He went as far as contacting the National Weather Service and asking the National Weather Service if storm spotting was essential employment or whatever, like an essential, what was it, essential employees or essential service or whatever. Just like, oh my God, stop. Like, I thought it was satire at first, but it wasn't satire. Then this database came out. I was in the database, by the way. It was almost like the Epstein files, like this super secret database, except instead of pedos, it was freaking, oh my God, storm chasers. And I am proudly in the database, but Jesus Christ, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And it was, well, by driving all over the place, you're spreading the COVID. Okay. You know what I did during COVID because I didn't want to get sick? I had a bottle of Germ-X, not a sponsor. It sat in the center console cup holder, usually. When I got out of my car to pump gas, I put on hand sanitizer. I pumped the gas. When I got back in my car, I put on the hand sanitizer. So I didn't leave my germs on the gas pump, and I didn't pick up somebody's germs from the gas pump. So please tell me how I'm spreading the COVID all over. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, God dang. But you know what? The one positive thing about COVID is the gas was freaking cheap. I remember getting gas for $1.50 a gallon all over the place. That was great. Wish we could go back to that. So yeah, that's that. That's why I avoided Illinois. Like, somebody brought up something like, why do you always avoid Illinois? Well, that's why. And then I kind of got in that habit of avoiding Illinois, and it just stuck. I swear to God, if we ever have another national health crisis like that, I'm just done. Like, and you know, you have to look at this from both sides of the fence, folks. If adults could have been adults, that I doubt COVID would have even became the thing that it became. Because you've literally got people who will... Like, I told you the story the other day about the Loves, right? Where I went into the Loves in Missouri, and there was crap. Literally crap all over the bathroom. Not just the stall, but the bathroom. Like, it looked like a pet monkey picked up its own crap, crapped in its hand, picked it up, and then started flinging it all over. That's what it looked like. It looked like a freaking like orangutan or something took its turd and just dumped it, like flung it all over the bathroom. No wonder COVID spread. We can't even crap in the toilet. Like, we fling our crap all over the damn public restroom. Of course COVID was a thing. Like, God forbid you tell a couple of adults to not sneeze on each other and wash their hands once a week. That probably would have stopped a lot of this, but we have to handle being able to go to the bathroom in the toilet first. And we can't even do that. So, of course, you're not going to get adults to not sneeze on each other and lick windows and lick doorknobs and not wash their hands. So, you know, I mean, what did you expect? I mean, that right there is just proof that, like, even adults will act like children. And maybe a child did it, but the amount of crap, I don't think it was a child. Like, it almost had to be a cow. Like, literally a cow. Like, it looked like a farm animal went in. It was disgusting. I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I walked in, and then I took 2 steps in, I took 2 steps out, and I found the manager, and I'm like, dude, I know it ain't your fault, but you got to do something about that. And they did. He shut the damn bathroom down. He gets out his little walkie-talkie. He's like, we gotta shut it down. We gotta shut it down and clean it. So, I mean, they did the right thing, but it's just like, what in the hell is wrong with people? Who sounds ignorant? Me? Hold on, I gotta frickin' drive like 100 miles an hour here because Grandma in her RAV4 back here is on my bumper. I guess she's in a hell of a hurry. My God, I gotta get the heck out of her way. Hell, I might stop at this Love's in 26 miles up here and get a bag of chips. Yeah, it's possible she might have to go to the bathroom. You guys want to hear about my idea? I had this idea, and everybody that I've told it to says it's a stupid idea. I think that all vehicles should come equipped with like a little light, like on the roof. Just like a steady burning light. Maybe a purple light. You know, just something that you would really notice, like a little purple light. And like, when you really have to go potty and go to the bathroom, and like you're in traffic and everybody's going super slow in the left lane, like you turn on your like, I gotta go to the bathroom really bad light, and then as a courtesy, people are like, oh, hey, that guy's really gotta go to the bathroom, let him through. I think that should become a thing. You know, like a poop light. I don't know, like, you really got to get to the toilet. It's 10 miles away. You got to go really bad. Traffic's doing 55 in the 60 in the left lane. You put your little purple light on, and everyone's like, oh, that guy's got to get to the bathroom, make a hole. And you know, somebody actually got into a legit argument with me about this at a restaurant once. They're like, that wouldn't work because people wouldn't get out of the way. No, I would argue that they would, because if you gave everybody that same common courtesy, like, I think that the human population would actually be like, you know what, I can relate to that feeling of having to go to the bathroom and not being able to get to the bathroom. I think everybody would be like, you know what, yeah, give them the right of the way, make a hole, let them through. I have enough faith in this like species and population that I actually think it would work. I think we need to do that. We need to get somebody to contact some legislatures or something and get it figured out. Just got a tweet, so I guess we have Tropical Storm Humberto. Wow. Oh, wait a minute, do we? Yeah, Tropical Storm Humberto. That's the one off to the east, so that means that one to the west is like freaking Ismorley or something. Hold on, let me ask Grok for the name. Hey, so what's the I storm for the tropical Atlantic season this year?
The forecast for the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season forecasts a 13 to 19 named storms.
No, stop. I want the name of the storm that will start with I.
Based on the official list, that's Imelda. She's up 9th in line. Andrea, Barry, Chantal, Dexter, Aaron, Fernand, Gabrielle, Umberto, then Imelda. Fingers crossed she stays mild if she hits.
Imelda. Okay. Alright. Whatever happened to like Bill and John and Sally? Malda. Okay. Great. I'm sure that'll be another one that I say wrong and everybody pitches a fit about it, so cool. So yeah, Imalda, I guess, will be 94L if it forms. It's always these damn ice storms, too, like Ian, Idalia, Ike. Oh yeah, Irene, I forgot about that one. Yeah, there actually is a Karen this year. I was really hoping we would get to see Hurricane Karen. Yeah, I was really hoping we'd get Hurricane Karen. Maybe we will. But it'll be interesting to see how these two storms interact. I wouldn't expect the 94 area of interest. I wouldn't expect that one to have a name for a couple of days. I mean, assuming that thing forms, it's probably looking at like Friday, maybe Thursday, but probably Friday. That was just if I had to guess, though. Yeah, 93, the one off to the east is Humberto. What cuts have been made to the National Weather Service? I don't know. I don't really follow any of that. Honestly. Looking at that stuff in Louisiana, and it's not looking very good. But there is a line of storms that does go from Beaumont, Texas, which is extreme southeast Texas, like it's over down there by like Lake Charles, Louisiana, and that extends all the way up there to like Vidalia, Mississippi, like Natchez, south of Vicksburg, almost to I-20. It doesn't look severe though. Ah, shit. I'll be over here. My bad. Going for 2 hours and 27 minutes. You gotta be kidding me. No, I think a little bit less than that. I think my timer's messed up. Yeah, I've got like 3.5 hours left. I will say though, if this hurricane thing doesn't happen, it's gonna be a boring week, like for me, because I mean I've got stuff that I can get done, but there definitely ain't gonna be a storm to chase for a little while here. Next week maybe. You know, I haven't looked at like medium range models or anything, but I just know that like the SPC outlooks are very depressing, so it's gonna definitely be a dead week, that's for sure. Alright, this is where I get on 39 up here, so that means that the end is somewhat in sight usually. Once I get here, it's drives a little bit easier. But I'll start looking at some data tonight and start putting out what the this. I swear to God, I have had it with these overly idiotic aggressive drivers. You're gonna see this idiot coming ahead of us here. Watch this guy. So I got my blinker. He's been on my frickin' bumper. I've had my blinker on. Keep in mind this is an exit lane, and he tries to pass me on the right. Oh, nope, now he's back in, no blinker. And he, as I'm driving over, like, he comes up on me so fast that, like, doesn't even realize I'm changing lanes. with my blinker on and then tries to pass me. Like, he goes over on the shoulder. Like, I thought he was going to try to pass me, like, on the shoulder. And then goes around the other way. Like, what? Like, I swear, like, the past, like, 3 or 4 days, like, I've just noticed, like, such stupid driving. Like, I don't know if it's... I don't know. Like, way more than normal for some reason. But tonight, I'm going to try to look at some data and try to come up with a little bit better of an opinion. I'll start making some posts on Facebook about this. So we can maybe we can all start kind of coming to a plausible solution. Yeah, it could be anywhere along the East Coast, honestly. Too early to tell, too early to know. Yeah, so Humberto, let's see, currently it's moving west-northwest at 15 miles an hour, has sustained wind of 40 miles per hour. I don't see a pressure. But that's the one that's east of Puerto Rico. I don't know. I'm gonna sit here and wonder about what's gonna happen all day, but we're not gonna know for a while. much out of windshield washer fluid, it looks like, so. Really don't want to get it at the gas station because I don't know if anybody's been there recently, but Love's charges $6.99 for a gallon of windshield washer fluid. $7 for basically a gallon of water. Go to Walmart, you can get it for $2.50 or $2.94 or whatever it is. So that's what I try to do. Sometimes I'll screw up and I'll run out and we'll have to get it at the gas station, but I really hate doing that. There was a chase, not this year, like not 2025, but I'm pretty sure it was 2024. And I think it wasn't Watauga, Oklahoma, but it was somewhere kind of in that area. The Love's was out of windshield washer fluid. They didn't have any. And I was out of windshield washer fluid, and we were chasing, and I badly needed windshield washer fluid. And it was like the Love's was like the only gas station around. And I went in and I'm like, do you have any windshield washer fluid? And they're like, no. So somebody's going to really be upset that I did this, but whatever, you only live once. So I went over to the fountain drinks. I got a fountain cup and I ran outside and I started fishing windshield washer fluid out of the, you know, the things with the window squeegees where they got the buckets of the windshield washer fluid that you put the window squeegee in to clean your window. I started dipping in there and I started taking washer fluid out of their window squeegee bucket and started dumping it in my reservoir. Like, I didn't fill it up. Like, I'm not that big of a jerk, but I put a couple of cups in there because I really needed it. And I was fully intended on buying it, but they didn't have it, and I really didn't have any other choice. So I started dipping it out of there. Whatever. It's somebody's gonna be like, that's theft, and okay, whatever. And, and I also buy a lot of fuel there too, so I don't think they cared. I really doubt that they cared. Yeah, I didn't have a choice. Like, the bugs were really bad. It was like the beginning of May. Had to do something. Yeah, it really sucks though. It's almost 4 o'clock. I can't believe it's almost 4 o'clock. I've been driving for what, 6 hours now? Doesn't seem like it's been that long. But it's just about 4 o'clock, and the sun is like ready to go down. Here, I'll even show you. It looks like winter out, doesn't it? Like the sky. Yeah, look at that. Look how low the sun is already. What the hell? That sucks. Hell, a couple of months it'll be dark out in 45 minutes. I mean, sometimes we've got sunsets prior to 5. That's not fun. Don't like that. Yeah, this part of Illinois is flat. Like, this is actually a good part of the state for chasing. It's really flat. Really open. The road network's good out here. Like, Illinois as a whole is actually decent to chase in, like, when it comes to terrain and everything. You just got to stay away from, like, obviously the northeast corner of Illinois, because that's just all urban. You really want to stay away from northern Illinois too, but like central Illinois is pretty, especially west central Illinois is really good for chasing. East central Illinois is not bad, I guess, but I don't think I've really chased in Illinois this year. I do remember we had one storm chase. I think it was in March. I think it was in March. Yeah. It was kind of crap. No, actually it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I remember because we had I remember we thought that storm was going to produce a tornado. Like, it looked really good. And I think it almost did. Yeah, that one wasn't crap. That was, that wasn't far from here. I think we were in... let me look. I think we were somewhere around Bloomington. I don't know where. We were somewhere around here. Well, I think we'll probably plan on... I'm trying to think of how we want to do, like, the streaming schedule here, because, you know, like we talked about, we're going to do a live stream every day for the rest of the month, just to make up for, apparently, the weather being dead as a post. I mean, side conversation here. It's kind of ironic and kind of funny, because when we went into August, I was making the comments back in July about how sometimes August is like the best month and chase more in August, blah, blah, blah. Then August ended up being deader than a post. So I'm going to try to figure out like what we're going to do for streaming. Let's see, today is Wednesday. What the hell day is today? Wednesday. So, I don't know. I might do like a late night stream tomorrow, maybe. Maybe go live late. Like 10 o'clock at night. I don't know. Friday, we'll probably do Friday around lunchtime again, because that seems to work really well on Fridays. I don't know if I'll be at home or if I'll be driving to the coast. I don't know. Yeah, I actually like doing streams like this too, because it's really easy for me. So obviously you can tell that we don't have like all the graphics and the production and all that stuff. To do all that stuff, I have to run a computer in the cloud, basically. I mean, we have like the location and the speed and all that crap up on screen. That's just done on my phone locally. But running the live streaming server and stuff costs me about $7 an hour. Which, if you think about it like this, like, oh, well, you only run it for a few hours here and there, and that's correct. But like yesterday, we were live for what, 6 hours? So 6 times 7 is 42. So that was $42 just to run that machine. Plus my gas. So you can see how the overhead gets really expensive really quick. So if I were to go live for something like this, we've been streaming for almost 3 hours, that would have been $21. And I don't know what we've done on Super Chats today, but we might not have even had Super Chats come in. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a chat that's actually showing me those properly right now. I need to fix that. I'm not trying to, like, devalue if they have. I'm just saying, like, you know, some days we have nothing comes in. We can do a stream where there's, like, no Super Chat, no nothing, and the ad revenue is bad because for some reason, you know, the appropriate ads weren't shown. So, like, sometimes, like, it can get expensive fast, but doing the way I'm doing right now doesn't cost me anything other than the data, obviously, and the fuel. Now, also, obviously, you know, we can have issues with the way I'm streaming right now. Like if we go into a dead zone or something like that, the stream could drop out. You know, we don't have the quality that we do, but usually when I'm doing streams like this where we have good signal, we're not worried about storms and being on back roads, stuff like that, you know what I mean? So now that I can do it this way, I don't mind doing stuff like this. It's like I tried to avoid it prior because it would cost me, you know, $20 to $50 a day just to do a bullshit live stream. But I do enjoy doing stuff like this because it's so much simpler. Like I don't have to fight with problems. Like it kind of reminds me of when I first started, but because doing it the other way, it's just you have so many you can have problems, and it's a lot to babysit. So, but Yeah, doing the intermittent streams like this has helped for kind of getting things back where they should. Because like normally we usually average what in the slow season, probably what, at least 2 streams a week. Usually, at least. It's pretty rare to do less than that. And you know, when you look at peak season back there in April, May, June, and even parts of July, hell, we were streaming, you know, 5 or 6 days out of 7 every week. So it's definitely, you know, it definitely goes up and down quite a bit throughout the year. I don't know. I will probably start wrapping this up, honestly. But I'll do a live stream tomorrow. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure when. That's the thing. Like, it was suggested to maybe like do a live stream every day and schedule it for the same time, and you know, that's actually not a bad idea, but I can't always commit to a time. Like, I kind of just do, like, I don't really have a plan. I just kind of think, oh, we got time right now, we'll do it. So I don't know when tomorrow, but like I said, it might be late. But if you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel. I like never ever advertise subscribing to the channel, because the biggest thing that I hate is when you open a YouTube video and the first thing you hear is like, yeah, subscribe and smash the button and all that stuff. It's like, oh my God, I can't stand that. It drives me nuts. Like, you open a video trying to find out information and like it's a 20-minute advertisement about subscribing. But today is Wednesday, right? Yeah. All right, yeah, I wasn't 100% sure there. I had to double check. So I knew I put it in the title, but for a minute I'm like, oh shit, is it Thursday? But thanks for joining, folks. Again, obviously go to seethestorm.net, and there's ways to support the channel on there and find all of our social media links. So thanks, everybody. And like I said, I think tomorrow's going to be a later one, and then I think Friday we'll probably do it around lunch. It just seems like whenever I go live on Fridays, doing it around lunch is best. So, all right, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow.